great episode today. And personally, one of the ones I've been waiting for. So, what y'all don't know, here at the Pull Up Experience, we have had our problems, you know what I'm saying? And I will put that all on me because in the beginning, I was in charge of scheduling. Well, shout out to Michelle because we've gotten so much better since then. Thank you, Michelle. But one of the things that I said I wanted to have Walt on when we very first began, and it's my fault, you know what I'm saying, because of issues and whatnot. Well, man, being the great man that he is, we had a chance to talk, and we have him here today. So I want to personally thank you, brother, for coming on the Pull Up.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And I know we gonna talk about a lot of great things tonight. You know what I'm saying? And then we got Miss Brick, guest host tonight. So without further ado, we're gonna Mr. Walter Patton, creator of Ghetto Therapy and just all around breath of fresh air that our city needs. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We have so many great leaders, activists in our community, but I feel like we got a whole new generation of people who are fighting for certain things that we need in the city. So thank you, man, for coming on today.
Appreciate y'all for having me.
Welcome.
Yes. So everyone knows on the Pull Up, we like to start from the very beginning, man. Where did it all begin for you, man? Like, have you always been a conduit for change, or was something that you gradually got into, or you know what I'm saying, it was sat in your lap type ordeal?
Nah, so yeah, of course I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, the central community. We call it Down the Way Projects. My entire life I've been there for 35 years. I'm 35 years old. And generations, I'm a fourth generation. My great grandmother, my grandmother, my mom, now me. So naturally we grew up like, fighting in the different neighborhoods in these projects. It's like 7 to 8 different neighborhoods, and we grew up fighting. And I was on that side for a long time, for the first 20-some years of my life.
Yeah.
And then I went to prison at about like 24. Came home at about 26. I did 18 months. But the whole time I've been this way, even when I was younger inside of these projects, it just wasn't accepted. I was a poet, right? And in the hood, you got to play football, basketball, be this hardcore rapper. You just got to diss everybody, and everybody got to be hard. So I was a poet who was always trying to create community initiatives, but it just wasn't right. And so at that time, I wasn't accepted. But when I went to prison and I didn't know anybody, I was shipped out to like further Columbus, out Marion, and I say out of a population of 2,500, I probably only knew like 8 people.
Wow.
So, and those 8 people weren't on my dorm, so I was forced to be who I am. I was forced to read more. People go to jail, they work out, they read, but it's an opportunity to really find out who you are. And that's when I found out who I was, and I started to make friends from Toledo, places in Ohio I never heard of, like Chillicothe, Hamilton, Ohio. These is Lima. I never heard of these places in Ohio. And these people was mad cool, and they accepted me because of my poetry. They accepted me because of what I, visioned to do when I got out here. I went to jail. I was like 140 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Small dude. So, I got my weight up, got to working out with the people, and so just to answer your question, I was always, in the beginning, I was on the destructive side. But it wasn't until like my mid-20s when I started to tap into, my purpose.
And so you said a couple things where I was going to point out. Because one, I love how you said, you know what I'm saying, because we all been there. You know what I'm saying? We all are, not saying a victim, but you know what I'm saying, we all gravitate to the environment that we in. You know what I'm saying? And to step outside that norm, you typically something that you don't do. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be an outsider. You know what I'm saying? And I love how you said it. And now I'm not going to act like I ever in the prison or nothing like that. But I know we all have been in situations where we had to sit down somewhere and had to really look inward. You know what I'm saying? And I love that. That you had that time to do just that, man.
Yeah, for sure.
What they say separation is going to lead you to elevation and whatnot. And I think that's that's what happened with you, bro. So that's what's up. So okay, so let's talk about that because, by the way, if you live in Cleveland, when we say down the way, up the way, like I know people out of town, they be like what's up the way? What's down the way or whatnot? Yeah, I remember them days like it's yesterday, man. I remember not being able to walk past 30th. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just that bad. I'm 36, so you know what I'm saying?
It's still like that.
Yeah, it's still like that, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's going to show that our city, although, you know what I'm saying, one city, it can be very divided. You know what I'm saying? That's one to point out because, like, people might not know about Cleveland, you know what I'm saying, how it's split up like that. But I live on 114 miles, and same thing occurred.
Yeah.
And like you said, I wasn't artsy, but I was that nerd. You know what I'm saying? I was the kid talking about something. Y'all want to play some Pokemon or not? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that wasn't accepted. You know what I'm saying? No, it was not accepted, bro. So you know what I'm saying? I had to play it off like, no, we don't play Pokemon around here. I'm in the house. You know what I'm saying? So I get it though, bro. But I love that. You know what I'm saying? You went inward and you became who you were called to be, bro. So So let's talk about when you got home. You know what I'm saying? Because I know being in prison and then coming home was probably the whole. Not saying culture shock, but it's like a whole different world when you came out.
So when I did 18 months, it kind of went fast, and like when I came home, everything was almost really the same. Everybody was still doing the same things. The only thing that changed was like the technology, as far as like iPhones and things like that. I came home in like 2012, end of 2012, almost beginning of 2013. So everybody was still doing the same thing. My friends were still selling drugs, still going out of town, still making the same moves, and I walked right into that. But at this time, I'm like, I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got something else that I want to do. I have created a whole poetry book, wrote films inside of prison. We used to act them out. Like, I used to have the inmates inside of prison act out my films, and we would just be like having a good time like that. So I brought that energy back to the projects, and I had like I had started something called the Free Thinkers. And the Free Thinkers was created because it was like a freedom of religion. In prison, everybody is just religious. Like, you got Sunni Muslims and the Nation of Islam Muslims. I didn't even know it was a difference at the time.
Yeah.
But then you got Christians, you got Baptists, you got Jehovah's Witness, then you got your 5%ers. And 5%ers really believe like God is within. So, you know, when I came home, I was like, man, I don't want to do none of that. I just I want to link with people based off love. And if you love something, if any religion makes you feel better, then I'm cool with you. It don't matter what religion you are, but it's love. And so that's how Free Thinkers was created. It was from this guy named Leo Tolstoy. He was a Russian warrior back in the 1800s. He's a white guy though. But my name in Russian, Walter, means warrior. So it was like, that was kind of a thing because Leo Tolstoy created this free thinker mindset. So I studied that, and my name was Walter. He was a Russian warrior. So I studied that, brought it back home, and I started to create music based around, at the time it was Trayvon Martin.
Yeah.
So I made a song called A Letter to George Zimmerman. And that was my break home. Like, I came right home to that. I made that video. We was like 100 deep in the projects. And now you got all these drug dealers, all these gang bangers, everybody from the hoods coming together talking about George Zimmerman. And that was my initial, like, that was my, you know, my kickoff to, you know, coming home. So when I came home, I tried to convert everybody into like thinking free and just being positive and finding an issue, but you know that ain't really worked out.
Yeah, no, I understand.
It did. It was hot for a few months. You know, with the world star and all that type of stuff. But you know, tension and jealousy and stuff got to coming after that. So it didn't last long. But that's what I came straight home to. Was like pushing free thinkers and positivity into the projects.
So a couple things, bro, because I love how you, like, the fact you recognize, so you did some research, you know what I'm saying, you won't find your name, but then you study something that someone had, and you're like, I'm not going to hike to this. You turned this to where it not benefited you, but you know what I'm saying, where it worked for you, you know what I'm saying, because like you said, there's a Russian man who created that, you know what I'm saying, but you from Cleveland, from the projects, and I'm like, I'm going to take that theology, and I'm going to, you know what I'm saying, apply it to here, and I think that's dope, bro. And my favorite line out of the Malcolm X movie. Remember how my man had all these black men doing the same thing, and I remember the white guy was like, "That's dangerous right there." You know what I'm saying? Has anyone ever said that about you? The fact you got all these guys in the hood, these drug dealers, these people come together for a good cause. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure that was scary to some people, you know?
I think no one really ever said that, but you can feel it. Like, I mean, so I do a lot of work in nonprofit. I'm in a lot of different circles, and if you know anything about nonprofit in Cleveland, it's majority elders, and elders who've been in these circles forever and receiving funding. So when you see a young guy that's coming in, I'm 35, you know, compared to the elders that are 50, 60. When you see a young guy bringing young millennials together in the name of healing, and you got white people, you know, I was at the Malts. They had a whole orchestra about ghetto therapy. So I had people from the white people, I had black people, I had young people, young gangsters in the community come together, and then I became a threat then because now you got these elders that's inside of these nonprofit circles like, oh, he's stepping on my toes. But in reality, I'm just trying to bring healing to the community, but you worried about your funding.
Right.
So yeah, I became a threat just this past year to elders that's in the nonprofit circle. And even when I was younger in the project, when I first started it, when I was telling you about the free thinkers, a lot of the guys, they had jumped off board because what I was doing was transitioning young guys to, you know, youth programming, learning how to get their LLCs, their ASCAP, their BMI for their music, taking them to Coventry, letting them perform their music. And these were young guys who was carrying pistols and dope for the older guys at first. So now we in this tug of war, like, no, I want them to come do something positive. And you like, no, I want them to come out of town and sell these drugs. So yeah, I had a couple threats and stuff from people that I grew up with, but you know, nothing, I still stay in the project, so nothing really serious, but yeah, I've been through some things with that.
So I do want to talk about ghetto therapy. I know, you know what I'm saying, like, how did that even start? You know what I'm saying? Where I know you were in this phase of your life where, you know what I'm saying, where you're becoming impactful, but like what birthed that?
Ghetto therapy was in 2018. It was just like the mindset of we smoking and drinking, trying to numb the pain in the projects, but it just don't work. You know what I'm saying? Because once you come down off of that high, it's back to reality and the same problem. So I'm like, man, what else could I really do? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I had a friend, maybe two friends, was like, man, let's try to join this therapy session. I'm on a board of a couple boards in the projects. I'm on the St. Vincent Charity board, resident board. It's a hospital where, it allows me to throw out a chain email and invite therapists to come down to my space where I was at. At the time, I was at WOV radio station, which the guy you just seen walk past, he's the head DJ there.
Okay.
It's crazy. But that's where it really started at. So I just wanted to invite a couple of my friends to a therapy session in 2018. So then we started doing it at the WOV radio station. Wasn't no therapist showing up. It was just residents. Maybe 10, 11 residents every month, once a month. Then in 2019, we were still at the WOV radio station and growing maybe 15, 20 residents once a month. Then 2020 came and the pandemic shut everything down. So, but right before it shut down, we was at El Dorado's Barbershop, which is directly in the heart of the projects on 40th. The owner was murdered. So once the owner of the barbershop was murdered, we was kind of shut down. But then a pandemic hit, so it shut down in 2020. But in 2021, I got an opportunity to be in the space in the 55th License Bureau Plaza. And I got an opportunity to get some ownership in the space. And we brought ghetto therapy back. But this time, it wasn't once a month, it was once a week. And with it being once a week, because I had the opportunity to kind of run the space, I had more creative control in making it once a week. And what I seen was, it grew from once a month to once a week because the consistency.
Yeah.
So the crowd started to come because people like, oh, we need this every week. So then I threw out another email to the therapist, and no therapist like, I ain't coming to them projects after 6 o'clock. And I'm like, all right. But it was this one lady named Shannon Yarbrough. I'll never forget, she's an occupational therapist. She like, yeah, I'm coming. I live down the street. I live in Central. I live close down the way. And she came and she was pregnant. She had to be like 6 months. But she came and did like a sound bowl and a Reiki session. A Reiki session, which is just focusing on your body chakras, your throat, your heart chakras, and things like that, and pulling toxins out your body and, making you feel better. So she came and did that one time, and that was in 2021, right before she went out. She went to, went in labor and stuff shortly after that. She was like, I'll be back though. So I end up, it's not working out on 55th, so I end up not having to do ghetto therapy there. And shifting over to 4600 in Euclid, where I'm at now, where it's been the last 2 years.
That's what's up.
Where it's at Environmental Health Watch, where I work at full time. So it went there, and then Shannon came back after her pregnancy. I'm like, oh, she came back.
Right.
So by this time she come back, it's popping. Now we got like 30 people coming every week. So it grew from that to like 40 people a week. Then it started going to 50. And then when I got a partnership with Cleveland Clinic, because they saying it, so Cleveland Clinic came on board, like, we want to partner with you. The Links to Use facility, it was a lady named Chantel. She like, well, I want to partner with you. I've been following you for years, but now I want to, partner. So we partnered, and by that time, Shannon was there, like, coming at least 2 times out the month. Then we brought in Maisha Watkins, which is a licensed counselor. Then licensed therapist Billy Gilliam. Then another licensed therapist named Shalee. So we got like 4 or 5 licensed therapists that I partner with now. But if it wasn't for Shannon Yarbrough, I don't think a lot of these therapists would even came on board. She made it cool. So man, so ghetto therapy was started like right in the middle of the projects, just conversations with the residents, my next door neighbors, and knowing that smoking and drinking wasn't it. To numb the pain, we needed some therapy, and that's how it got started, right in the heart of the projects.
And that's a beautiful thing, man. So no, what I'm saying, there's a stigma in our community, when it comes to therapy, you know what I'm saying? And I love how you recognize that, and you like, because one thing to recognize it for yourself was enough. Is another thing to recognize and want to make change in the community, bro. And shout out to you, man.
And our first week at Cleveland Clinic, we had 101 residents come for a therapy session. This is an open therapy session where we got licensed therapists in there. So to have 101 people come to a session just to get healing services was like dope, man. And so now on the average, the lowest we get is 30. A week, and this is every week, so we might get 65, 70, 80, 100. But it's grew like that from that once a month to 10, 11. It's grew to 30 on the average. And that's the minimum.
And I just want to take some time out because it's a couple of things that I want our audience to make sure that they understand what you did. One, you were consistent. If anything, I got from that you were consistent. You started out, like you said, with small amount. A lot of people they did things right in the middle when things are getting better. You know what I'm saying? Because like by what I hear, you went to 3 different locations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you didn't let it deter you. Didn't let the number deter you. You ain't even let that the fact you didn't have enough staff, not staff, but like enough. Enough everybody there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it only took one person to start it, and then everybody else wanted to start it.
Nothing, bro. No funding, no
yeah.
nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was out of the pocket, and everything I was doing was out of my pocket, which was really nothing for real. Like maybe a couple $100 if I can get that at the time. So yeah, it's just consistency, like you said. Now we partner with Cleveland Clinic, Tri-C, Environmental Health Watch. I'm working on other partnerships. So every hospital in the city of Cleveland is in my email asking how am I getting 50 to 60 residents to come. Black residents to come to a therapy session.
I was about to say, man, on top of that, black resident, because you know what I'm saying, like it's hard to get this come off of something, man.
Yeah.
So no, and then let me ask you this, because there's someone watching. I'm pretty sure some young man or young lady is watching right now. Like, so what keeps you motivated in that, bro? Because like, you know, I'm pretty sure it was time where you're like, you know, I'm gonna shut this down or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kept you going those moments?
Like I just said, like even when the hospitals reach out to me and ask me how am I getting 50 to 60 people to come to an open therapy session, it's because I live there. Like I said, I still live in the projects. I still live right behind Friendly Inn across from East Tech.
Oh, dang.
So it's like when I'm out there, you know what I'm saying, they see me, they knock on my door. If they see me on the news, I got 14 news stories, you know what I'm saying? So when they see me on the news, they're like, whoa, we just saw you. They knock on the door, come outside. It's just a physical feel, like they can actually feel me, they can actually come see me. And I think just being there means that much more to the people. And that's how, that's how everything just keep going. And that's, so just being there, you know what I'm saying? That's what motivates me, is living in the actual community where you need the healing.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, you see the change, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, and even if it might just be one person, I'm pretty sure changing one person's trajectory, you know what I'm saying, it makes it all worth it.
I say this all the time, B, I just said this, and this is no knock to nobody, because for real, we need all hands on deck in communities to heal, you know what I'm saying? So it's never shade to anybody, but I said that out of 99% of community leaders are people who consider themselves to work in the city of Cleveland. And I work with, like you said, collaboration is my thing.
Yeah, it really is.
I collaborated with so many people, and 99% of them can't take you back to their old community and introduce you to 5 elders, introduce you to 5 youth, or introduce you to 5 people their age. And that's okay. You get what I'm saying? Like 99% can't do that. But again, that's okay, because we need all hands on deck. But I'm a part of the 1%. So I don't want nobody to ever get it confused of what I do and how I do it, because it's special. It's a special thing, and I recognize it.
No, bro. And like I said, ain't no shade on anyone, you know what I'm saying? Because we all can identify with people who just want the shine, who want the recognition, want the notoriety or whatnot. But like, meeting you, seeing what you do, bro, you see the authenticity with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're authentic in what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's genuine in your pursuit of trying to make real change happen. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I'm in there. You know what I'm saying? So no, bro, I want to give you your flowers now. You know what I'm saying? Because we see and we appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was watching Dr. Umar, and he was talking about it's not enough that we do for our own kids. You know what I'm saying? What we're doing for the kids that aren't ours. You know what I'm saying? As black men. You know what I'm saying? And bro, you are an example of you making real change for those who, you might not know their names. You know what I'm saying? But you're making an impact, bro.
For sure.
So yeah, no, shout out to you, man.
So as a collaborator and you making positive changes throughout the neighborhood and throughout the city, what is maybe for the future a collaboration that you would like to see come about as you continue to work?
A collaboration with me, like me just collaborating with somebody.
Who would you like to collaborate with to further your?
In the city of Cleveland, or just overall?
Just overall.
Because I collaborated with just about everybody in Cleveland. Anybody that's doing something positive or supposed to do something positive, supposedly.
Yeah.
I've collaborated. So I would say, Tyler Perry.
Nice.
I can see that though.
Tyler Perry I used to call Tyler Perry my favorite rapper, and he just never rapped, right? But like the movies he made, like for colored women, that was a movie for colored women. Then he was a part of Precious. He was a part of like
I forgot he was. Yep.
I never really got into the movies where he dressed up as a female, like no shade, but I never really got into those. But like the things that he did outside of that, like for colored women, and he had all those different situations. Like the way that he explains trauma in the black community is like where I come from.
Yeah.
Each situation that was on for colored women I can identify like what's my next door neighbors. So and then he he just bought BT and VH1 and all this type of stuff he got.
Sure did.
So I would love to have ghetto therapy like mix it with Tyler Perry and have a partnership and a collaboration with Tyler Perry, because I know that he can take it to the next level. He's like the male Oprah. So it's like Tyler Perry is number one that I will collaborate with. Yeah, for sure. And then J. Cole. I think J. Cole is so like dope because he's of course he's a millionaire. He's got access to everything, but when you see him pull up, he on a bike.
Yeah.
He dressed regular, so he just
man.
he really about the work.
Yeah.
And those are two males. But I know you said one, but it's like a few. Lauryn Hill has always been somebody that I've been inspired by since a kid. Lauryn Hill, I would love to collaborate with Lauryn Hill, just like her whole Miseducation album experience, because I know she went through so much with that.
Yeah.
Then she went off to Africa, something with the Marleys, and stuff got wild for Lauryn Hill. So I would like to hear her experiences. So that's one woman, and who else? That's
The other good collaboration, bro.
Yeah, that's it.
And I see all those still coming to fruition, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And let me ask you this, because like growing up, you know what I'm saying? Like, so who was, not saying your inspiration, but like who you know what I'm saying? Like growing up, like who do you look up to? You know what I'm saying? Because bro, you are how can I say this? There's no one like you, bro.
for
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And I'm pretty sure you were inspiring the next generation. You know what I'm saying? But like we all need, not saying mentors or whatnot, but you know what I'm saying? Like someone who makes us like, okay, like that's the move right there.
Tupac.
That's what's up.
I wouldn't waste no time with that one.
Yeah.
Like Tupac, from Juice to Above the Rim to Poetic Justice to all his albums to the way he felt about the black community from his Black Panther perspectives.
Yeah.
Just his charisma, his energy, his way to tell the truth. It's a funny story I never really tell in interviews, that when I was when I was going to court, right? I was going to court, about to go to jail and do my 18 months. And the judge was getting ready to sentence me, but I was innocent. Like, I ain't do this stuff, right? I knew for a fact I didn't do it, but the whole no snitching thing, that came apart. But the judge was just talking bad about me, and the bailiff was holding me, and the judge, she was a woman, her name was Holly Gallagher, and she was like, yeah, well, you did this, and you did that. And and if you ever seen the Tupac movie, or y'all seen the documentary, when the judge was about to sentence him, Tupac told the judge that, I don't care, like, you haven't looked me in my eyes one time, and therefore you're not my judge, God is my judge. So I went all up in the courtroom like, you ain't looked me in my eye one time, and you ain't my judge, God my judge. She hit that gavel and said, yeah, 18 months, I'm your judge today. I said, so Tupac, he has always influenced me, like, in the beginning, like, because he just, like I said, he just was everything in one, and there was just so much more to rap with Tupac. So that would be my number one influence, for sure.
And you know what? So, and I remember my favorite thing that he said. He said, I'm not gonna be one of the world. I'm gonna influence the very person who changed the world, bro. And that always stuck with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That he said something like that, and I think that's so dope that you know what I'm saying, that you said that, bro. Because like you changing the world around you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's like full circle right there. So that's dope, man.
And that's the thing. Like with ghetto therapy, there has never. And y'all can correct me, because I always want to partner with people that do things like this. But there has never been a time where we brought therapy services for free.
Absolutely,
to
bro.
the projects, to the ghetto, and you got all these different, from art, meditation, yoga, Reiki, sound bowl, like all of these forms of therapy is in one space. But the thing is, all the therapists are black, and they all are in the ghetto. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think. And when you say that with Tupac, like, he just sparked me. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that changed the world. And when I talk about Down the Way so much, because it's like, there's a Down the Way in every city of America. It's not called Down the Way, but it's a project that's going through redlining the Public Works Administration, structured racism. And this is one solution to overcome it. So when I'm talking about changing Down the Way, it's like I'm really changing the world, because it's the same situations in every city of America.
That's good, bro.
Yeah.
That's good. I like you said, there's down the way. There's down the way everywhere.
Yeah. There's good and bad parts of everything.
I was in jail, and there was people in Cincinnati like, I'm from down the way, you ain't from down the way. I'm like, hey,
you
we
got
all
it, bro.
struggling.
Right.
We all broke. We gonna get better.
No, and I love you. I love the fact y'all recognize there's different type of therapy, because we all can. You know what I'm saying? We all find, our outlet. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't have like one way or one set way. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like, we gonna, hey, that sound boy ain't it? Okay, Reiki might be it for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the thing though, because there's still men, like black men, like, so ghetto therapy is really predominantly women. So women, they love therapy. They love the services. They love to talk about their problems. They love to like bring people with them. And it's always the guys like, man, I don't need therapy. I don't. But it's like, bro, yes, you do. Just for you saying you don't need it is the more the reason why you do need it.
Yeah, that's good. I'm sorry. I think it's all time.
It's like, it's just it's not even validation. It's just somebody else's opinion of what they see on the outside. It's like a coach. So a basketball coach sees several talents. LeBron, Kobe, all of them, they can do great things on their own by themselves. But it wasn't until LeBron went to Miami and got with Eric Spoelstra where they won the title. It wasn't until Phil Jackson got with Kobe and Shaq and they won the title. So it's like that coach who could see the problem and fix it. And that's what therapy is.
Nice.
No, bro. And like I said, you hit it right on the nose, bro. You said, if you say you only need therapy, you need it even more.
Yes, man, yes. Especially growing up in these environments.
Yeah, no, facts. And let me ask you this. So how do you think we can try to change that narrative? Because shout out to my boy Rabir. We were on the panel, bro.
Facts.
We talked about those very things, man. And like, I know for me, I have a better sense of self after going to therapy. You know what I'm saying? Being able to understand like the traumas that I went through, or didn't even recognize it was actually traumas. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what you know until you know it. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes we need somebody to point those things out to us. You know what I'm saying? And what do you think we could do to help change that, bro?
Two things. The first one is consistency. So that's what I've done. I've been consistent the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And over the last 2 years, I've been doing it every week for 2 years straight. Only missed 3 weeks, and it was snowstorms those 3 weeks. So the consistency is one. But then the second part is introducing them into these different forms of therapy, because we believe that therapy is you talking to one-on-one person and telling them your problems and they judging you. That's not all forms of therapy. The best form of therapy that works for me is Reiki. When I'm laying across this table and he's or whoever is the Reiki therapist is touching on your entire body, feeling for your toxins, for your body chakras, and it just relieves pain. Like, so chakra.
Oh, you hear?
Yeah. Shannon Yarbrough, she's the Reiki therapist there. And so it's like just the consistency and introducing different forms of therapy. It's just not one-on-one conversation where you just exposing your problems. You feel like somebody judging you and taking it back to an office and writing you off. No, it's different forms of therapy. So yeah, that's it. Consistency and introducing the different forms.
That's good.
Yeah.
I know whether you believe it or not, you know, or anybody, you're doing therapy one or another, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be watching them shows, whether it be, you know what I'm saying, doing, you know what I'm saying, drinking this, like you said, you know, in the hood, we only know certain ways, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be, but it's ways to do it constructively that's healthy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So shout out to y'all, man. And like, bro, and then, and like I was joking around with you on camera, but I wanted to ask you, bro, because like, how do you even deal with, because you know what I'm saying, like, Cleveland is a small big city. I will say that forever. You know what I'm saying? Because it really is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure you go on about people like, oh, they're going to ghetto therapy. You know what I'm saying? How you deal with that, bro?
So it's like it's two kinds of fame like that I identify with, and I'm more so local. But Cleveland is a small city.
It really
so you run
is.
into everybody. But it's two kinds of fame. So you got this one fame to where it's like you got I don't want to use Nipsey Hussle because I feel like he was a great person. But then you got but you can use him. But then you got rappers. Let's just say rappers, King Von and them type of guys who get this fame, and you know. But like when you see King Von, it's like, oh, that's that dude that do the drill music. He be killing, robbing, taking. That's one fame. But then you got this second fame to where you might see somebody like Dr. Umar. Let's just use him as an example. You know, oh, I go Dr. Umar. That's the guy that talks, you know, knowledge and consciousness. So when you got this rapper, he gonna get a different attention for his fame. But then when you got Dr. Umar, he gonna get a different attention for his fame. So when I'm in the people ask me all the time, why do I still stay there and it's dangerous? I said because they don't look at me like that. Like I don't pull up like with the jewelry. I don't pull up with the jewelry, the fancy cars. I don't pull up like that. I advocate for healing in the community, and I'm helping your parents. I'm helping the kids. The kids in the projects, man, they all on my porch. They all knock on my door. They pull up. Man, like it's love. So it's like the attention that I bring to myself isn't negative.
Yeah.
Get what I'm saying? So it's not a problem. Whenever I see somebody, they swear they know me. What's up? Where you been? And I don't ever brush them off. Like I don't know you because I know for a fact you know me for doing good deeds.
Ooh, that's good. So I'm sorry, I hit that one time.
That's the thing.
That's good, man. That's good. And I love how you said it because like it's one thing we recognize like on the tabloid type stuff. We ain't got the tabloid, but you know what I'm saying. Like it's one thing to be recognized for the negative stuff, but the fact that people know you for who you are, they know your heart. You know what I'm saying? Like that's dope, man.
But I'm gonna tell you this though, B, and I'm gonna tell y'all like it's a downside to that too because like even with ghetto therapy, when I tell you that it's predominantly women, and all these guys and women come to ghetto therapy, and these guys don't want to come with them, but they think that the women is all. A lot of guys just think that I'm dating all of these women. It's like
Can't sell your home and tired of carrying that load? Drop the house. Gutter Properties will buy your house as is with offers up to $300,000. Need serious repairs, liens, taxes, or judgments? We'll work through your unique situation to get that house off your back. During your free, no-obligation appraisal, we maintain social distancing and take every precaution to ensure your experience is safe. Drop the house. Gutter Properties. Call us or visit gutterproperties.com today.
I would never have thought that.
Bro, I get a lot of slack, man. I get a lot of flack from people thinking that like I'm in here dating all of these women, and I try to tell them like if I was, it wouldn't work. Ghetto therapy wouldn't work. So what I'm saying is like, yeah, I get that too. Like it's been times I've been out and you know guys giving me mean mugs or guys come to the sessions and mean mugging me like, oh my girl in here, what's she here for? And I've heard from women like, oh my guy think that I'm in here dating people, and I'm like, man, so,
that's wild, bro.
Yeah, so yeah, I get that too, but not much is the love though.
Yeah, no, I got you, bro. I mean, I laugh because like that's wild, though. I wouldn't even thought that, bro.
Wild. It happens, bro. I'm telling you, it happened more than once. It happened more than twice. It happened more than twice to me. So.
No, I'm about to say once again, because Cleveland's a small town. I can see that happening though, bro.
Yeah.
Like, my girl going to go through before. You know what I'm saying?
You, bro.
Especially because she's going home.
Pull it up on me.
Saying all these positive things about what you're doing. So you're like, okay, who's this guy? She just keeps talking.
Pull it up on me at my job with it, like. Yeah,
wow.
What my girl doing with you? And I'm like, man, nothing, bro. I'm just trying to heal. Wow. But yeah, so that happened to me before.
But once again, bro, that's Cleveland.
That's Cleveland.
That's Cleveland.
That's
though.
Cleveland.
You know what I'm saying? But once again, I feel like at the end of the day, regardless of any of that, they know you. They know what you're doing. Like you said, you here for healing. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. You can't. Ain't nothing you can knock with that. But hey, once again, it's Cleveland, man. But once again, I wanted to give you flowers, bro. Because once again, you doing something no one has ever done.
Yeah.
And I know the ramifications from that is only going to help heal the city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's like, but I also like I always like to talk about the positives, but I like to talk about the things that I go through on the negative perspective of it too, because like I don't want anybody to ever get it twisted that like it's easy, or you can do it. Like I mean, you can do it, but it's not simple. So being a one-on-one and being the first person to start a free and open to the public therapy session in the ghetto, you don't have anyone to get advice from. You don't have anyone to, like no one to talk to when you're going through these different things and dealing with 50 to 60 different people energy and you taking it back home.
Yeah.
Like you don't you can't get advice from nobody, and it's tough because you got to take these problems home, and you being a one-on-one and a creator, it's like, who is it to go to? So it's difficult at times. Like I tell you, like it's been very tough for me the top of 2023. You ever seen the movie Limitless?
Good movie, bro.
So you know how he took this pill?
Yeah.
And he was just high on life, right? But when the pill went down, he was just back to normal.
It was all
He was through. So I feel like the last 10 years I've been doing the work, I've been on this limitless pill. But this last 2023 is like it's wearing off. And I feel and see everything. So it's like, man, it sounds good when you say I'm the one-on-one, I'm the creator, I'm the man. But man, do you really want to be that? Because at the end of the day, like, God chose me to do this, and this is what I know, and this is why I continue to push to do it. Because I was chosen to do it. He didn't put this on nobody else. But do you really got the strength? Do you really got the, the mindset to really do this? And that's the thing. So, yeah, there's a downside to it, but, I think all the great leaders who came before me was picked to do it, and they went through all the similar situations. Yeah. So I know I'm built for it, but, it is a task.
It's a task. No, hands down, bro. I'm going to ask you, like, that's segue to a great question. Like, who do leaders go to when, you know what I'm saying, when they, like, not saying decompress, but I'm pretty sure like a pastor, he praying over people all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? And he takes on all those things. Like how do you handle getting that not off you? You know what I'm saying? That's not a great word, but you know what I'm saying? Can you take all this in? How do you release from those things, man?
So even outside of ghetto therapy, I still see therapists. So I still see Shannon Yarbrough as my Reiki therapist. That's my sound bowl. There's a young lady named Amber who I do sound bowl with, where she just creating therapy through sound and energy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I seek therapy services because like I said, there's not many that I can talk to. You know that's done this. So in my environment, majority of my friends and my peers I grew up with is drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? Are they in prison? Are they dead? So it's like I can't go to nobody and be like, hey bro, I'm having so much problems at ghetto therapy. What you think I should do next? They gonna say, well, whatever you feel like it, man, I'm here. It's like, all right, bro, all right, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But like really having advice, no. So seeking therapy, man, I still seek therapists, and it's the reason why I'm still calm and chill to this day. Because of Reiki therapy, you know what I'm saying? And knowing my body chakras and knowing, you know, what's where's the most trauma at? Yeah. Because like that's what really Reiki do is pull trauma from outside of your body. Yeah.
So listen, I'm saying here on the podcast, I'm gonna be for the Reiki joint. I'm gonna be there, bro. Cause like I love it. Like just hearing like that sounds dope. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to be a part of that.
Y'all can follow Shannon. She's Charmed Crazy 33 on Instagram.
So we're gonna Shannon, we're gonna hit you up. Gonna pull up and whatnot. We're gonna get you to talk about that because I think that's dope. Once again, something different too, you know. Because like I've done traditional therapy and that has worked, but like once again, being able, you know what I'm saying, it might be a different avenue that could do not just do the same thing, but do a whole different way than I'm used to. So that's dope. So let me ask you this though, because we talk about the past, talk about the present, talk about the future, bro. Cool. Like, what is your aspirations for the future of ghetto therapy as a whole?
Okay, so a brick and mortar is something that I plan to have in my community, right in the middle, a space where ghetto therapy and so Create Art Not Violence is the youth initiative to ghetto therapy. So that's actually how I started ghetto therapy, was because I had 65 kids during the pandemic when everything was closed. And the projects we was doing we was doing art, poetry, hip hop, and film. So I had these young kids inside of Friendly Inn because Friendly Inn is a settlement center in my community, which everything was closed. The rec centers, the libraries, the schools, everything was closed. But the settlement center let me in because I've been a part of the community for 35 years. So they let me in, and we was having all these services. And what I did was I had a mentor named Mansfield Frazier. I don't know if y'all know Mansfield Frazier, but he have a winery on Huff. But he passed in 2019. 2019 or 2020. He's an older guy, like in the 70s. He passed in Huff. I mean, he's from Huff, but he passed in 2020. And what he told me was like, it kind of made me mad at the time, but he said like it's gonna make you mad or it's gonna make you better. And he was like, well, I understand what you're doing with Create Art Not Violence, but if you don't reach the parents, it's never gonna work because they with you 2 hours of the day, and the other 22 hours they're in a toxic environment. Wow. So I'm like, okay. So what I did was I took that. You know, I was mad at first, but I took that and I emailed all the kids that was coming to Create Art Not Violence. I emailed their parents. I called their parents personally and invited them to the therapy session. Yeah. And that's really how ghetto therapy was like, just grew even more. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Yup. What was the original question? Because I know.
You good, bro.
I go off a little.
No, you good. No. So the future, because I mean, I know, because like I'm pretty sure, like I can see a ghetto therapy in Cincinnati. I can see a ghetto.
Okay. So now I'm back on. It was the future. So having that brick and mortar, 7 days a week. I'm having the therapy services and also a studio for artists. So I want to bring artists and therapists in the same space, in this one space called ghetto therapy. And also, ultimately, having ghetto therapy in every city of America. So, you know, I've already been called to come to Atlanta before. They ain't have enough money to do it though. Like you gotta have at least 15 to 20,000 to even bring me there. Like because of the therapist I gotta bring. Then you got a hotel, and then, you know, so we gotta get around. Like and then you gotta pay for my time. Like it's expensive. These therapists is expensive. Then just recently, Pennsylvania, Indiana. So these are spaces that's been acquiring ghetto therapy, but you know it's gonna cost. Cost. So that's my goal, is to have a brick and mortar Monday through Sunday therapy services. And you know, young artists is in the same space because I believe that music is therapy as well. And and having it all over America, ghetto therapy in every city of America.
I can see it, bro. I can see it because, like, once again, like I thank God that more and more things are being open for us. You know what I'm saying? Because back in the day, once again, I'm showing my dad, my uncles therapy. I'm like, therapy? Yeah. What? We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But we live in an age where now things are coming more susceptible, more open. You know what I'm saying? So I can see a ghetto therapy. You know what I'm saying? All around, like a boys and girls club type of ordeal. You know what I'm saying?
I want the trademark too.
Yeah, that's what's up.
People was playing with me a little bit. I had to go pay for that trademark.
Yeah, bro.
Elders.
Oh man.
It's tough, man. That's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
Well, listen here, elders. You know I know.
Non-profit. Non-profit, bro. I'm telling you.
But I feel like this guy obviously is shining upon what you're doing, and you doing the work, man. And then on top of that, he graced you for it and gave you the purpose behind it, bro. So you're gonna be blessed regardless, man. Regardless of whoever try to come against you, bro. So that's what's up. All right, well, bet. So this is a part of the interview that I like doing, y'all. Y'all know I got the second questions, right? And just like we said earlier, I was watching the Nipsey Hussle interview, right? And he was talking about how the things he wanted to accomplish with his life and his legacy he want to leave behind. I want to ask you, what legacy do you want to leave behind as you as an individual, but then you want to leave behind with ghetto therapy and everything connected with the free thinkers and everything else you have going on, bro?
I think I can't separate the two. I think they're going to have to be together because ghetto therapy and Create Art Not Violence is my legacy.
That's good.
I like I said, I bought the trademark and I'm ultimately going to pass it to my kids. I got 3 kids. I got a daughter that's 18 that just graduated from John Hay, Science and Medicine. So she's really now, you know what I'm saying? She's now. Ghetto therapy and Create Art Not Violence, that brick and mortar, just having that one space where therapists and rappers are in the same space, artists, just poets, whoever, that consider themselves an artist and therapists in this one space 7 days a week. And then mental health services 7 days a week. That's my legacy. Because I know that's what we need in these communities, these environments, these projects, whatever you want to call it. We need mental health more than anything. That's at the top of the list. We don't need no Wi-Fi, none of that. Like we do, but that's last. Like so, mental health. That's my legacy. Ghetto therapy is leaving mental health services inside the impoverished community 7 days a week. Yup. Yeah. That's what I want. And making therapists just as popular as rappers, man. And just bringing them together. Dope. Like that's all, bro. Because everything's mental. Like when I started ghetto therapy, it was based off of being in the projects. It was based off my environment. Like people, like sometimes people call me a genius, and I really don't even identify with that because I think most geniuses wasn't trying to be geniuses. They were just trying to figure out how to adapt to their environment.
I'm sorry. That's a whole bar right there.
Yeah. So because it's real. Because it's like I wasn't never trying to be the genius person that created ghetto therapy. I was just trying to live and survive in my environment. Like I'm like, man, what can I do? And that's what I did. So I started to study the project, started studying the central community, and that's when I started finding out about the laws and legislations of redlining and public works administration. And you know, when Franklin D. Roosevelt created the Public Works Administration, and what he did, because my great-great-grandmother Walter Patton, who's from Outweight the Projects, she used to always talk about like how we lost gardens, community gardens, we lost mom and pop stores, we lost grocery stores, and she used to say this, but she never knew it was a name or a law for it. So when I started to tap into the projects and tapping into my history, I'm like, man, what was this called? And it was redlining at first, but I'm like, what created redlining? Now the red line was just identifying communities of poverty on a map. But then how was redline created? Well, that was when Franklin D. Roosevelt created the Public Works Administration. He took business and home loans from banks from African Americans and gave them to the white Americans, because in the projects they was all living in the same community. The people was coming home from the war, and white folks, and then the black folks was already there. So he like, all right, we gonna get these white people all these business and home loans from banks, and we gonna keep these black people in the same community. So we gonna move them up to Parma, Solon, and North Olmsted, but these black folks gonna stay inside of these projects with no resources. And so when I found that out, like, oh, this was strategically done. So this is why the projects is worse, or this is why it's like that. This is why a project is really a project, because of the laws and legislations that was created by the government to keep us in this position. So I'm like, well, what could I do to combat these issues? Because now, if you look at the projects now, we don't have a hospital. They took away our well, we have a hospital, but they took away our emergency care and our outpatient.
Right.
We didn't have a grocery store for 4 years. We got one high school, they closed down the other high school in the community where all these neighborhoods feud. So if you pack all of these kids in one high school, what you think gonna happen?
It's gonna happen, right? Exactly.
But with this one high school, we got 8 prison-based facilities surrounding this one high school, from halfway houses to districts and to justice centers. All of them surrounding my community. So I'm like, man, how the average kid not gonna be able to come out of this? Period. I don't care what you think, because next door was a young lady who baby died for 6 months from SIDS, from sudden infant death syndrome, right? And that was through a stressful environment and poor dieting. So if we ain't got a grocery store and all these homicides and murders is in this one community, the average baby not gonna be able to make it past 6 months. That's infant mortality. So you got all of these problems inside of this one community, and it's due to a structure. Now, I'm not saying that I'm making excuses for people who just adding on to this destruction. But what I'm saying is these problems do exist. And once you find out these problems do exist, then it's up to you to create the solution. Now, if you don't create the solution, then you become a part of the problem. So I'm not here complaining. I'm just really educating those who never knew about Public Works Administration or the Federal Housing Act. And I know you went to real estate, so you know Federal Housing Act just didn't allow us to get certain homes in certain communities.
Absolutely.
And this is how we was able to stay in the projects with no resources because of these laws that took us away from this. And this is how ghetto therapy was created, because I did the research. Like, what can I do to bring us out of this mindset through these laws and legislations that was put on us? Now, I'm also the events coordinator at Lead Safe Cleveland, and what we do is we help landlords get their lead certifications, because there was a law that was enforced in 2021 that all rental properties got to have their lead certification. Yeah. And if you don't, then the city of Cleveland possibly give you a citation. You probably can't rent your properties out. But also, 1 out of every 4 kids was poisoned before they got to kindergarten. So that's 25% of our kids that was poisoned from lead. And every home that was built before 1978 has a trace of lead in it, possibly. Yeah. And we talking about Flint, Michigan, about their water, but Glenville has one of the highest rates for lead in America, or probably the world. So it's like Cleveland is suffering from lead, and it's in our house. But these are all in red line communities that was created from the Public Works Administration. So it's like, how can I create something, one solution to combat this? And that's what ghetto therapy did, because everything was mental. Yeah. So I started bringing in these therapy services to kind of heal people that was affected by red line effects. And that's how ghetto therapy was created. But again, that goes back to me not being a genius. That just goes back to me trying to adapt to my environment. Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing, man. Just studying our environments. If we study our environments and create solutions, these nonprofit organizations, these funding organizations, they gonna have to fund you. Right. And that's the thing. We talk about, I don't want nobody funding. I ain't taking no money, but you create these solutions. They gonna find you. You ain't gotta find no money. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is.
That's a whole bar right there, by the way. That's what's up. And then like I feel like, bro, it's like, I know you said brick and mortar, but like I feel like ghetto therapy is like a way of life. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Versus just being a mantra. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a way of life, because the ghetto is a quote unquote place, but the ghetto can mean this, it can mean that, and you know what I'm saying? How do you traverse that? You know what I'm saying? The therapy that's how you do it, bro. So shout out to you, man. Like, it's bigger than that. You know what I'm saying?
Bigger than me. It's bigger than me. You know, even though I'm the creator of the idea, one of my guys, his name Tim, he's down at the Ridolph Farms. And Ridolph Farms is one of my partners too. And I want to talk about that a little bit. But he told me, like, Walt, because one time I was frustrated, like, man, all these people that surround me is getting on my nerves. I'm helping people get jobs. I'm bringing people into employment. I'm just bringing them to therapy service, but they all want personal time from me. Walt, what are you doing? What's going on? I'm like, bro, this is getting on my nerves. He like, Walt, relax. This is bigger than you. You can't solve and, help everybody. You already creating services to help them. Like, you can't do it personally. You know what I'm saying? So he had to remind me that what I created was bigger than me, and that was the thing. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my guy Tim at Ridolph, and Aharon is one of the young guys. So they created space. I don't know if y'all familiar with Ridolph. Are y'all familiar with Ridolph Farms?
No, I heard of it though.
So it's a black-owned farm, like on 82nd. Like when you leaving Garden Valley, you're going straight up Kinsman by the McDonald's. You turn, you make a left on 82nd, and it's a black-owned farm, 18 acres. Dope. Like, they got a restaurant down there, man. They growing fish. It's just dope down there. And recently I got a partnership with Ridolph, and we created something called the Pod. So it's like a healing dome. They're gonna create a dome down there. Like I said, it's 18 acres. And there's going to be a dome where we do Reiki, sound bowl, traditional. Everything that I do at Ghetto Therapy already is going to be inside this farm, inside of a dome. So it's like, I just got that partnership. And Ghetto Therapy is on, like, the ownership of it. So that's another partnership I just got. Besides Tri-C, Cleveland Clinic, Environmental Health Watch, and Ridolph Farms. Those are my partnerships. Shout out to Ridolph and Aharon and Tim and everybody down there.
And let's talk about that, bro. Let's talk about how do you decipher who to collaborate with, bro? 'Cause like I said, you're the ultimate collaborator. And nothing else, bro. They can never take that away from you. You know what I'm saying? How do you consider who to work with, who not saying not to work with, but who to work at a later time, bro?
That's crazy, because I was just like if y'all look inside of my stories on my page now, I was just saying, like, collaboration is key for me, because, like, it has to make sense and not sense. So I'm not.
Title episode.
Yeah, so like it has to make sense and not sense because I got an entire community who's trusting me to make the right decision for the better of the hood. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I base my collaboration off the consistency of the people that reach out. So like I may curve a few people. Like, no, I'm cool. I ain't working with you.
Yeah.
Like I might just get back with them late. But if they keep coming, like, Walter, I see what you're doing. I know you're busy. I'm coming. Like, can we collaborate?
Mm-hmm.
The third or fourth time, I'm like, oh yeah. But the whole time, I'm still looking on their page. Like, okay, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I base my collaboration on consistency. And if you're consistent, it ain't really about no bread. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like once you start to be about the bread, and if it's not coming the way it's coming, you're not gonna be consistent. You're gonna quit. So that's how I base my collaborations off.
That's good right
consistency.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Cleveland Clinic is, like I said, Chantel, the lady who brought me in at the Langston Hughes facility, said she'd been watching me for years. That's consistency. And she from the Down the Way Project, so she grew up in this environment, got an education, got out, and got a bigger position and came back to grab somebody like me who she's seen that was in her projects, making a change. And then Environmental Health Watch, which is my executive director at Lead Safe Cleveland, Kim Foreman. She's like the person that's responsible for what you see me doing, because I was this person in the projects rapping, battle rapping. You know what I'm saying? I probably would have been a battle rapper if it was. I probably would have been going at people, dissing people, but she was like, "Walt, what you doing every day in your community for free, you can get paid to do it." So she started taking me out of town. She took me to Denver, Colorado, took me to Wisconsin. I'm meeting all these different people, learning how to create curriculum. Yeah. First, I'm just in the streets in the projects, just reading books to kids, playing basketball. Yeah. That's a whole curriculum. Yeah. So she helped me put it in curriculum form. I met her in 2017, so that's consistency. Tri-C been in my projects forever, so it's like I never even went to Tri-C. Yeah. I didn't go to Tri-C until I started doing ghetto therapy. So I never went to school there, but next thing you know, I'm keynoting a session about ghetto therapy and police brutality. So that was the whole thing. Like, that was the consistency part, because they've been in the projects forever. Yeah. And me just wanting to get inside of Tri-C as a student, but I ended up going to prison.
So something about you weren't even a student, bro. You said I went from not even a student to being the keynote speaker of the joint, man. That's good, man.
Nipsey Hussle said I was a dropout, but now I speak at colleges. And that's real. Like, I've been in a few colleges. Yeah, so that's what I mean by consistency. Like, all my partners has really been consistent with me in my life.
That's good, man. Yeah. Make sure my title is consistency is key or something. Like, we'll figure it out.
Consistency is the only thing, man.
Yeah,
it's
man.
The only way. It's the only way.
So, okay. With that being said, can we talk? We asked about your legacy or whatnot. What is something that you want someone who watches young? Because one of the things we want to do with these episodes, bro. Because I want someone in the high school to watch your episodes tonight and be like, I want to make an impact on my community. For sure. You know what I'm saying? Like Tupac said, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like someone's gonna watch this do the same thing with you. What are three key things that you said tonight that you want them to take away?
I'm just gonna break it down and you make it pull three things out of it. Yeah. I don't know, 1, 2, 3. But the most important thing is, like, a lot of the young guys that I deal with, when they riding with me or they working with me or they coming to ghetto therapy, they looking at the money perspective. Like, how can I make money off doing what I do? And I tell them all the time, like, you know, don't worry about that. Like, make sure that this is what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Make sure this is what you want to do first. And then the money will come eventually. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, just doing the work. Like I would tell them to study the environment. Just how I did. When I studied and found out about Public Works Administration, the Federal Housing Act, and these people coming from the war and all, I studied that and created a solution based off of what I studied. So I would tell the young guys to study your environment, wherever you come from. Study it. Find out the history of it. And whatever affects your community the most, create a solution around it. And these nonprofit organizations and these funders, they're going to chase you down because you know what works in your community, because why? You're a resident there first. So I want these students to study the environment. And once you study it, whatever you study, based off of that, create a solution around it. That's the thing. I want you to. And secondly, I want you to know that as a resident have the most power in the city. A resident is the reason why these organizations are running. It's the reason why politicians win in office. We have a population of 380,000 residents in Cleveland, but only 12,000 voting. Wow. It's 12,000 that live in my hood. Like in Central, in the projects, it's 12,000 people in Central. So only 12,000 people is voting. So voting is important. I'm not talking presidential, I'm talking local. Now, also, I was an executive precinct leader inside of my ward for Ward 5, which means I worked closely to our council person. So I'm one of the people that was responsible for bringing in a 33-year-old councilman. So our councilman in Ward 5, his name is Richard Starr. He's the
Shout out to Richard, man.
He's like 33, 34. He's a councilman, bro. We lost in 2017. I was on his campaign. He came up with a strategic plan to become precinct leaders. Now, this is called civic engagement. So when I'm telling the youth, I'm telling y'all to vote, but this is another way that we can put who we want to put in office locally. We're not focused on presidential because it gets tricky with the electoral college and all that.
Right.
But when we're talking about local, I became an executive precinct leader. First, I was a precinct leader, and what that did was allow me to vote for the ward leader. Now, the ward leader is different from the council person, but inside of these wards, the council person is really always the ward leader, so they don't have to answer to nobody. So they got all the power. But a ward leader can go back and forth with the council person about what goes on in the community because the ward leader has more contact to the residents.
I did not know that, bro.
Right? So we voted. So with me becoming a precinct leader, I got a chance to vote on who becomes a ward leader. So we voted for Richard Starr to be the ward leader. So now it's the council person and Richard Starr. And Richard Starr and us. So Richard got more contact to who we are. He got more, one-on-one. And then after we lost, we became that. So we all voted for Richard Starr to be the ward leader. And then I became a precinct leader, which is now I can vote for who gets the Democratic endorsement in my community. So you go to the Board of Elections and find out when is the next precinct leader campaign. I mean, the voting, it's in 2026. So I encourage all residents and youth that's about to be 18 to go be precinct leaders. So we voted for Richard Starr to get the Democratic endorsement. And what that means, you get more literature, you get more mail-outs, you know what I'm saying? You got more money behind you as a Democratic candidate. And what happened was, when we got that, Richard Starr won in 2021 because we found out how to become executive precinct leaders. And precinct leaders, we found out how to vote for who we want to be in office. And we can do that. And you don't have to have certain credentials to be a precinct leader or none of that. You just go down to the Board of Elections, put your name on the ballot, vote for yourself, and you win. And then you can vote for who you want to be your next council person. That's how we change the city, because without politics, we can't change the city. You know what I'm saying? So study your environment, create solutions based off of that, engage into politics, and that's how you change your community. That's how you take over a hood. So those are two things I would say. And last, remember what you put out. Like, I'm a big person. I'm big on universal law. So when you making music, you rapping, you talking all this drilling and killing, remind yourself that that's what's going to come back to you. It may not come back that day or next week, but next time, in a year, a month from now, it's going to come back. So be mindful of what you put out, because it's going to come back. So those are three things I would say. Study your environment and create solutions based off of that. Get involved with politics, civic engagement, and that's how you change your hood. And be mindful of the things you put out into the universe, because it always come back.
That's good stuff right there, bro. So can I ask you, can we see you on a political campaign one of these days in the future? We see, you know what I'm saying?
No, sir.
See, no politics for you, bro.
No, sir. I'm not, because I love my creative control. A politician really can't come on here and tell you this, what I'm telling you. A politician can't tell you to go be an executive precinct leader or a precinct leader, and that's how we win. Because there's people that's been in office for 40 years who don't want you to know that. You know what I'm saying?
I did not know that, bro.
Yeah, you got Polenzek, which is in like Ward 8. He's been in office for like 40 years. He don't want you to know that somebody else in Ward 8 can run for council person and bring his team with him and become precinct and executive leaders, because it takes him out his power for the last 40 years. So so that's why I don't want to be a politician, because I love doing this and don't care about what comes behind it, because I know in order for us to change, this stuff got to be said.
Bro, I don't know. I feel like a reverse Trump, you know what I'm saying? We need that, bro. We need that. Like, we need politicians that ain't politicians, you know what I'm saying? That has a feel for the community, a feel for the people, you know what I'm saying?
And I'm an artist though, B. Like, I love creating change through art.
I mean,
I love rapping, doing poetry, creating ghetto therapy, creating violence. And as a politician, then you ain't got time to do that.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. But just know you got my endorsement, bro.
For sure.
You decide to, you know what I'm saying? You'll change your mind, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So, man, no, listen. And I just want to thank you, man, because this has been a great interview, bro. And, like, just seeing... Like I said, I've been following you. Saying just like how you said Shannon was saying the same thing. Like, I've been following you, bro. And like I said, if nothing else, a couple things you see you making change, consistency, and you know what I'm saying, collaboration, bro. That's the three things I say with you. You know what I'm saying, that you doing that. You know what I'm saying. And I want to just give you flowers, man, because you inspire me. You know what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to make changes in my own lane, but nonetheless, though, like seeing you doing your thing and you doing it consistently, man. Like you inspire others, man. So thank you for that, man.
For sure.
So, lastly, man, how can the people get in touch with you? If someone's watching this, they say I want to get therapy in Alaska. I'm pretty sure I want to get in Alaska, but you know what I'm saying? I gotta get in touch with you, bro.
Okay. You can follow me on Walter Patton. I'm gonna get it out the way for the old heads first, the older people. That's on Facebook. Walter Patton. Walter Patton. And then on Instagram, you can follow me at Freethinkers Since 87 LLC. Free Thinkers Since 87 LLC. It'll pop right up. And then my personal page on Instagram is Walt Patton. And then my YouTube channel, which is everything is on there as well, is Walter Patton too. So really Walter Patton, Free Thinkers, you'll really see me.
And by the way, guys, y'all go search around having show notes so y'all can follow, reach out to Walt and all that good stuff, man.
Oh, Ghetto Therapy 216. That's another Instagram that I don't control, but my team control it. So Ghetto Therapy 216 is another Instagram that you can follow Ghetto Therapy on.
So I'll have that on the show notes so y'all can go follow, support any way you can. You know what I'm saying? Donate your time and all that good stuff, you know. So we're gonna do part 2. We gonna go to the regular session, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna do part 2 at Ghetto Therapy, you know what I'm saying?
And we always looking for therapists, black therapists that's in the community to come and be a part of it. We trying to get 30 to 40 to 100 therapists that's on board. That way we can rotate and have therapists every week. So if you're a black therapist, we need you to come to Ghetto Therapy. We don't have any males yet. It's all females. So I'm looking for the brothers to come on out and participate, man. Come show some love because the brothers saying that they don't need therapy, and then now we don't have any male therapists, so it's kind of looking crazy for us. Y'all. Come on.
Listen, y'all. Hey, y'all know what I'm saying? Hit up Walt. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all get anybody in mind. That's good stuff, man. And like I think just having that, like I said, representation will help us change a lot. So, man, this is a good interview, bro. We appreciate you, man. So like I said, we got to pay some bills, right? All right, y'all. July 15th, 16th, guys. We are teaching you watching this right now. You want to create a podcast? Now the bar has been lowered with YouTube. You can now monetize with a whole lot less subscribers, a whole lot less watch hours. So with that being said, you guys get monetized a whole lot faster. We can show you the way. Watch episode 139. That means we have 139 episodes to show. That's our social proof to it all. We're doing this. We've done it, and we're gonna continue to do it. We want to show you the same thing. So from conception to systems to monetizing, we're going to show you the way, guys. So get your tickets, $25. $25 for 2 days worth of training. I think that's a fair deal. And once again, it's like Walt doing something diversity. No one else is teaching how to do podcasts. We want to be the first one to do it, okay? Next, guys, September 23rd, Nakia, 2U Wines. She is putting together the best black beer and wine festival in the city at Kane Park. It's going to be music. It's going to be great alcohol and alcoholic drinks, and then I also believe she has something else she's going to surprise y'all with. So stay tuned, okay? But get your tickets for that. If you're a vendor looking to participate in that festival, also sign up for that. It's going to be a good time. So the cookout that you've been invited to, we invite y'all to our cookout. So come on through, all right? I got anything else, y'all? No? All right, cool. I want to thank you watching. I think right now we're at 6,500 subscribers, and I wake up every day thanking God because this is not nothing we're doing. I think it's great people like Walt who have on every week telling their great stories that y'all are receptive to, and it's showing. You know what I'm saying? Like we're averaging about 2,000 views every episode. Where I'm not talking about sometimes sort of kind of like consistency. Once again, consistency. You know what I'm saying? So that's because of you, not because of us. You know what I'm saying? So we want to thank you watching. Yes, you.
Oh, I got one thing.
What's up?
Shout out to Angel.
Oh yeah, shout out to Angel.
She was on me about doing it too. I was big on do it, like you know what I'm saying. Yeah. It wasn't because of Angel why I did it, but shout out to Angel, and also July 15th because I heard you shoot that date out. I will be receiving my 10th award from the NAACP. Yeah, this is award number 10 from the NAACP at the Cleveland Browns Stadium for Ghetto Therapy and Create Art Not Violence, man. So that's July 15th. I just want to say thank you.
Yes.
And shout out to Angel. Shout out to the Pull Up Experience. I thank both of y'all.
Thank you, bro. And listen, you deserve every award, bro. You said award number 10. I see 10 more in the near future, bro. Man, because you're doing something that's never been done before, man. We need this, man. And I you know what I'm saying, like I can't think of a better person to deserve the recognition behind it, bro. So thank you for your service, man.
Yeah.
So y'all listen, we'll see y'all. This is episode 139. We'll see y'all next week, all right? Peace.